Hi everyone, we're going to do a live cooking session. Obviously what you see here are ingredients. So I want to start off by, before I actually start cooking, showing you guys all of what's going to be in this meal. I really enjoy plant-based pasta. This recipe is usually a recipe that I use for making hearts of palm pasta. Let me put it in the screen so you guys can see what hearts of palm pasta looks like. So that is hearts of palm pasta, linguine shape. I love making this because, as you can see, the calories are very low. I can eat this whole box and not feel crazy about it. So it's a great addition to my meal prep, especially when I'm cutting. And when I'm on a caloric deficit, it's so flavorful, it soaks up all the ingredients, but I'm not on a caloric deficit right now, so I wanted to try making this recipe with some lentil pasta instead. So I have already boiled my lentil pasta al dente. It's on the harder side right now, but that's because we're going to cook it some more in our sauce when we make it. So essentially these are the ingredients that I use for my sauce. When it's just the hearts of palm pasta, as you can see, it's just that small box. I don't usually put the tomatoes in there, but because we're doing the more pasta, I'm gonna add the tomatoes just to make my sauce a little richer. So let's go through the ingredients. Here we have our pasta water, which we're gonna throw in once we start mixing in and cooking everything. Here for our animal protein, we're going to use canned mackerel. Of course, you guys can use fresh fish for this. The recipes are you can swap them in and out, but I want to let you guys know what I use. I'm big on the ingredients. So as you can see, there's mackerel, tomato sauce, salt, and chili powder. So it's mackerel, canned mackerel. You can use fresh mackerel if you want. I like this because it's very quick and easy. So if you don't have enough time or you want a quick meal prep, this works perfectly, the canned fish. So I have some sardines here. As you can see, the ingredients in them are sardines, vegetable oil, and salt. All right, so I have 2 cans. Usually with the hearts of palm, I only do 1 can, but we have 2 cans because, again, more pasta. So for our seasonings, I have garlic, of course. We have nutmeg. We have curry powder, paprika, chili powder, cayenne pepper. We also have cumin. We have ginger, black pepper, and we have Celtic sea salt, okay? Back here we have onion powder. Now, those are our dry ingredients that we're going to be using. For some of our wet ingredients, these are both sauces from Trader Joe's. One of my favorite sauces that I use, I throw literally in everything, almost everything that I cook, this chili onion sauce. The ingredients are olive oil, dried onions, dried garlic, dried red bell peppers, crushed chili peppers, toasted dried onions, sea salt, natural flavors, paprika, and yeah, that's it. So I really, excuse the ash, I really do enjoy using this chili oil in a good amount, especially when I do pasta dishes. It just does something to the base of the sauce, right? And I've started trying to use this one. I'm not really loving, I don't love it as much as the chili, but it does add a little bit more, I would say, more texture to the sauce, makes it a little bit more thicker, more red. So this has some fresh red peppers, garlic, salt, sunflower oil, coriander, citrus, and caraway in it. So you guys can get an idea what type of flavors are in this, okay? And then we have some fresh tomatoes. And in this bowl, we have Scotch Bonnet Peppers because I put Scotch Bonnet Peppers in literally everything. I don't know if that's like a sickness or what, but I love a spicy meal. So Scotch Bonnet, it's only 1 this time. Usually my minimum is 2, but I'm being a little reserved with this amount of Scotch Bonnet. So we have our red onion, we have our garlic, and then we have our green onion too. So that's all we have for here. You can definitely freak this how you want. You can add bell pepper into this recipe if you want. There's really what I love about recipes is how dynamic that you can make it based on your palate. You can take out the Scotch bonnet if you don't like spice, but this is what we're going to get started with today. All right, let's get cooking. So I'm just heating up the wok a little bit, getting what I need out. I think I want to use a spoon. All right, it's a little hot, so we're going to go ahead and add some olive oil, not too much, because we're actually going to use some of the oil in the sardine to fry our ingredients up. Okay, now if you're using the canned sardine, you have to be careful because there's already salt added to this to these sardines. So the thing about it is, if there's salt added, it's going to come out in the flavor of your meal, right? Let's turn the heat down a bit. So you want to be conscious of that, because you don't want your meal to be too salty due to the extra salt from the sardines. Okay, so that's drained, and then we're going to go ahead and open the second can and put some of that in there as well. So that's what we're starting with, how much oil we're starting with. It's starting to pop already because it has some particles of the sardine in it. Look at that. So we're getting it nice and hot. Just finish draining that. So now we're just gonna, we're getting sizzly. So we're gonna go ahead and throw our red onion, our garlic, our green onion, and our Scotch bonnet in it. And I like to fry this down. We're gonna go ahead and throw in our cumin seeds. Now cumin, I love cumin because every time I bite into my pasta, my Harissa pasta, I taste one of the seeds, and this is why I like the seeds. It really just makes the flavor pop in my mouth. So I really adore, again, the flavor of cumin, which is why I am using cumin in this preliminary step. So, and why I like to put the cumin in too is so or put the cumin in first or with this, so that it can fry together and you can really, really, really get that flavor into it, right? So we're gonna fry this down for a little bit before adding anything else. I want my onion to brown a little bit. That's how much I want it fried down. So a little caramelized, but that looks delicious already. I feel like when you start your meal with green onion, red onion, and garlic, your kitchen automatically smells like heaven. So you already know what it smells like in here. So yeah, I'm gonna let this fry down and see you guys in a second. All right, so from here, we're gonna go ahead and add our tomatoes. And we're gonna fry this down some more too, get them really soft and almost to a point of like a liquid state. So we're gonna have to sit for a little bit. Yeah. Oh, that looks so good. Ugh. So yummy. So probably gonna fry that down for like 2 more minutes, and then we're gonna add the next ingredient. All right, guys, so as you can see, it looks gorgeous. And the tomatoes are a little softer now. So what we're gonna do at this point, we're gonna go ahead and add just the sauce, because so my mackerel comes with this tomato paste already in it. If your mackerel doesn't come with this tomato paste already in it, that is perfectly fine. You can add like your own tomato sauce, or even more fresh tomatoes or bell peppers into your pasta sauce. So I'm just dispensing the tomato sauce in there. So as you can see, it covers this up, and then we're going to let that simmer for a bit. So like I said, the sardines and the mackerel have a little bit of salt in it already. So the sauce is pretty flavorful already. So again, we have to be very mindful of how much salt we add. So make sure you're tasting your food as you go. And honestly, to be really, really honest with you guys, the order in which you put all these ingredients with, I always start with the aromatics first though, right? So my garlic, my onions, and my Scotch Bonnet, I always start with that, but everything afterwards, and the cumin seeds, of course, but everything afterwards you could kind of add as you go. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw this harissa paste in there, about like a tablespoon in there. Again, well, not again, but I usually don't measure so you guys will see, I kind of just go off of how I'm feeling, but I'll try to put measurements in the description so you guys kind of know how much I'm using. So I would say about a tablespoon of each sauce. Again, just to make it a little bit more dynamic before we start adding other things to it. All right, so our sauce is getting thicky. Love a thicky sauce. That looks good, yeah? Looks good, smells good. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and start adding our dry seasoning. I love curry. You know, I know pasta dishes are not really curry friendly, but curry for me, not only does it diversify the color, you know, I'm obsessed. I told you guys I'm obsessed with the coloring of food. I love my food colorful, but it adds that richness to the flavor. So I would say that's about a tablespoon. I'm gonna go with a tablespoon of everything, honestly, at this point. Please bear with me, y'all. No, actually I lied. That was about a tablespoon. Again, do it how you guys want to do it. This is, I would say, you know, a teaspoon and a half of all the dry ingredients, right? So adding ginger curry. Yeah, a teaspoon and a half is about right of everything. And obviously you scale back or scale more if you want your sauce to taste any differently. I got my cayenne pepper because I told y'all my minimum for Scotch Bonnet is 2, and I only put 1 in here. So cayenne. Cayenne pepper, we're gonna have to add a little bit in there. All right, so our sauce is cooking down. We love it, we love it. Some onion powder, not too much. I would say like maybe a tablespoon of onion powder and garlic. Everything else, teaspoon. All right. So from here, stir it up. Look how amazing that looks. Nice and saucy. All right, from here, we're gonna go ahead and add our fish, our sardine. I turned the light down a little bit Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I turned the light down a little bit because I don't want this to get too dried down. All right, we add our fish. All right, turn the heat up a little bit more, and you're gonna just mash the fish in. Trust me. I know probably you want the whole fish in there, but this mashing up of the fish really adds the flavor, distributes the fish equally into the sauce, right? See, our sauce is getting chunky. So some of us like to make ground turkey. Some of us like to make ground beef. I like to make ground fish with this meal. So what I'm doing again is mashing everything up. And I'm going to go ahead. Oh my God. Y'all. What? All right, so I'm gonna let that cook down a little bit. While it's cooking down, we're gonna add, so this is a seasoning cube that's really popular in West Africa, I would say. I'm well aware that in West Africa, this is what we use. So I'm only using half. Again, be aware of the salt that you're applying in this. So it's like a seasoning cube that's really flavorful. It's called Gnaw cubes. Let me show you guys what an unopened cube looks like, in case you want to add this. Now this is optional, but you know, I gotta honor my ancestors by adding gnaw. Again, excuse the ash because, all right, so that's gnaw. Taste the difference. You really do taste the difference. So nutmeg for me is a secret ingredient. It's funny because spice is so dynamic. I actually added chili powder in my, don't laugh at me, I added chili powder in my breakfast bowl this morning, and it did something so crazy in there. I know it sounds crazy to y'all, but that chili powder slapped in my breakfast bowl. So you can add cinnamon if you want. You can add, I add nutmeg in my, usually when I do a stew, nutmeg really sets the flavor off. That's a little cheat code for y'all. All right, so let me taste the sauce. Wow. Wow. Oh my goodness. All right, so the pasta is definitely ready to be added. My hands are clean, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw it in there. If y'all want to throw it in there with something else, y'all can do that. But yeah, so pasta in there all the way. And guys, the heat is on low while I'm doing this. And then I'm gonna add some of the pasta water. I'm gonna go ahead and mix this up. You can see, I'll turn it up a little bit while I'm mixing. And again, you want to cook, this is the lentil pasta. You can use the chickpea pasta, any pasta. You can do regular pasta. That is your business. You don't have to do a plant-based pasta, but I love plant-based pasta, so I'm using plant-based pasta for this. I'm just covering all of the noodles in the sauce. And when you cook the pasta, make sure it's a little al dente. So if that box says cook it for 6 or 7 minutes, make sure you're cooking it for 4 or 5, because you don't want it to get too soggy inside of, I'm going to add some more pasta water. You don't want it to get too soggy inside of your whatchamacallit. Oh, 2 soggy inside of your actual pasta dish when you add everything in, because it's gonna cut down a bit. Okay. We're just blending everything together with that pasta water. Make sure the sauce is covering every noodle. So just a tiny bit of salt. Make sure you're tasting it before you're adding all this to it. And because I love this chili pepper so much, or this chili paste, I'm going to add some more to it. Actually using the whole container right now, which is kind of crazy. All right. We're gonna do a taste. That's it right there. Y'all, we are done with this. That is all you need. My pasta is done. And I don't think it's a complete dish until we go ahead and add some parsley to it, yeah? So I'm gonna add some parsley up top just to give it a little razzle dazzle. Look at that, so yummy. Oh my gosh. So flavorful, so colorful, so rich. All right, that's it for today. You guys, please like, subscribe, share, and let me know if you want me to do more cooking. Have an awesome day, and don't forget to chase the challenge.